Hi there, and welcome to the Creatives Get Real podcast. I'm Roben-Marie Smith.
And I'm Sandi Keene, and these are real conversations about the creative life. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Sandi.
How are you?
I'm doing okay, one day at a time.
Yep, that's the rule now.
That's it. Yep, and we hope our audience is doing well. Thank you for tuning in and joining us again this week.
Yep, and I hope that having familiar voices while you're creating or walking or washing dishes yet again is something that is helpful, because that's why we're doing this.
Yes.
Is we hope that it will be of comfort and help to you during this time. And if you're listening to this, way down the line, and maybe just skip this one. It's like, I don't want to think about that time anymore. Go ahead, just feel free to skip it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So we decided we're going to talk about art. This isn't really a time to be talking about business and marketing and branding and all those things. So we're going to talk about some fun art stuff. All we're looking for is entertainment right now.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about, we're each picking a tool or a product, and we're talking 5 ways that we use this thing that you might not be thinking of.
That's right. I like it.
So would you like to start? Would you like to tell me what you've chosen?
Oh, yes, I will. I have chosen liquid inks. And when I say liquid inks, I'm kind of referring to like a professional acrylic, like the inks that are in the bottles that have the little droppers. Could be the PH Martins, those kind of liquid inks that we, yeah. So I thought, you know what, let me try something, out of the ordinary. I mean, I tried to think of multiple ways to use a paintbrush, but a lot of them weren't related to art. So I thought, no, that's not going to work. So let's go to something that is art related that we can, so that's what I'm going to choose. So I'll run through mine.
Okay.
If you have questions, just let me know.
I will.
So thinking of those bottles of the inks and, using those, I decided that I would try to come up with several ways that you could use them in different ways. So it's not like take the ink and, I don't know, use it in your garage for something. This is literally art related. So, okay, so using them right out of the bottle, you can use them to draw with. So you can take that, pull the I think it's called it's not really a pipette, but it's like a little,
I would call it a dropper.
A dropper. Okay. So that makes sense. And you can, put a little bit of ink on that, and then you can use that to actually draw and make shapes and marks on your paper. You can use it right from the bottle with the dropper, or you could use things like sticks or pen nibs or even a real dry brush to pick up the ink and then use to draw as well. So like you could dip your, a skewer or an assortment of different size and shapes of sticks and actually do marks and draw from the bottle. And what's kind of cool about that is that sometimes the ink is a little thicker when you first drop it, when you first pick it up. And then it gets a little bit lighter. So, and then if you have a drop that gets on there, you can take your stick or your pen nib or whatever, and then pull the ink out and make different marks with that. So that's one way you can use it.
I love the idea of using a stick and doing mark making. That would be so cool.
Yeah. I pulled some sticks out of the backyard because we've got 2 really big oak trees, and they drop a lot of little tiny branches and stuff. And so periodically I'll go out there and look and see what's out there and pull those in. And I just use them in the studio. You can, break them to the size you want. And so those are kind of fun. Just makes different shapes and things.
Right.
So another way is to use the dropper or the little thing that's in the top of it and create splatters where you can just kind of like shake your hand. It's hard to describe these when you're not doing a video, but just like splatter it onto the page, and then you use the water bottle, spritz some water onto it, and let the shapes move. You could also add a little bit of alcohol, just regular old plain rubbing alcohol into it, and then that will create some really unusual shapes into the inks. You can take multiple colors of inks and kind of do the same thing where they blend in certain ways, similar to what you would do with
Watercolor.
watercolor. But these I'm using or I'm considering are a permanent. They're
Right.
a permanent ink. So that's another thing that you can do with them too, which is kind of cool. And then you can even, drips and move your paper around to kind of get these patterns. And that's really a lot of fun too. But alcohol and water, and we're just doing the plain splatters. You can even blow on them and make them move in other directions and stuff too.
Yeah,
So
I've seen people use straws and
yeah,
blow the liquid in
yeah.
splatters and splats and splots, and yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, don't suck up the ink in the straw and do it. This is like, it's already on the paper. You're just blowing
Right.
air. But yeah,
Right.
that works great too. Yeah. Another thing that you can do is have a palette over to the side of, whatever you're working on paper-wise. Have a palette. It could be, I like using freezer paper because freezer paper or butcher paper, as they often call it, has a slick side to it.
Yeah.
So the ink can sit on it and not really absorb into it. So I kind of like to use that, but you could use like a craft mat. That would work too. But again, I like to have whatever I'm working on where I can then use the paper again later after it's dry.
Right.
So I don't like to waste it. And then you can use a brayer to roll on some of the ink, and it works differently than it does with acrylic. So when you roll that onto the paper that you're working on, creating whatever, it's not going to be the same as if you were using an acrylic paint. It works very differently. And of course, just like with acrylic paint, you can put rubber bands around it. You can use different brayers that have shapes to them, and then you can get different patterns on the paper. And then of course you have the paper that's still on your freezer paper or the ink, you can still have that to use. But that's kind of a cool way to use it where you can get some.
That is cool.
Effects. Yeah. So
do you think could you use deli paper?
Yeah, I think so. Deli paper.
Because that's coated.
It is. And I would rather use that, I think, afterward, just because of the way it dries. But the freezer paper is going to remain, it's less porous if you use that the shiny side, so the ink would stay. But you know what? Use whatever paper. You could just use you could use newsprint. Depending on how thick you put the ink on it, you could still pull it up. But that's more porous even than the other two papers. So yeah, just get creative with the papers that you have. So,
cool.
Okay. And then there's mono printing. So you're using that deli paper, or you're using that freezer paper, or whatever you choose, and you've got some different inks and things on there. Turn that paper over, put that onto your surface and smooth it out and get some different print. Then also spray some water on it, and then flip it over and put it onto what you're working on, and you can get a totally different look. And when I say these things, I'm saying them as in have multiple pieces that you're working on at one time. So you can kind of rotate them around, change the colors up a little bit, and make it, kind of different. So that's another thing that you can do. And let's see, how many did I mention already? Oh, okay. The last one would be making your own sprays. So you can add the liquid ink to a small spritzer or a little, spray bottle with some water. And then you can make your own inks from that, spray inks, where you can actually spray it and get a totally different look. And then also, I like the idea too, and you could do this even like in a little dish, it doesn't have to be in a bottle, where you create kind of a wash, where you add water to the ink, it lightens it up a little bit, and then you can get different gradations of the color with your paintbrushes, or even your fingers too. But these are permanent inks, so they're not going to, once you reactivate them, they're not going to keep blending. So it's a little bit of a different medium than watercolor. But they're still similar in the way they react, but they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Concentrated. So even a little couple drops will go a long way with water, but they're beautiful to play with. So yeah.
They are pretty. I love inks. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So that was my 5.
That was awesome. Hey, I just thought of another one.
Oh, okay.
Use them to dye ribbon.
Yes. That's a great idea. Yeah. Do it. Scrunch up like seam binding, or even cotton muslin, if you want to do strips of that and make your own.
Almost like a sari ribbon.
Yeah, exactly. And it's permanent, so you don't have to worry about it, if it gets wet or whatever. But yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah, those were really good. There were some things I hadn't thought of. So great job.
Okay, so what
Okay.
tool did you choose?
I chose the gift card. The gift card, the
Mm,
hotel card, the credit card, whatever you want to call it, that little plastic shape that we have.
mhm.
At least I have a stack of them. Do you collect them as well?
I have a few that I use and I just reuse them. I don't have probably as many as you do, but yeah. Yeah, I've
Well,
got some.
everybody I know who
Yeah.
travels saves them and goes
Oh
like, no, I
yeah,
need my key back because I have to give that to my friend.
exactly.
So I have a stack of them. Okay, the first way is to use it as a paint tool.
Mm.
I love to take two colors of paint. We're talking acrylics now, two colors of acrylic that blend well together.
Hmm.
And then just take that scraper and just keep going across, and it
Mm.
blends and it smooths. And it's like a paintbrush, only because of the friction, the paint dries so fast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like painting and drying all at the same
Hmm.
time. So I like to do that. Number two, this is something that I've seen Ray Missickman do all the time, and she uses a gift card as a mini palette, and she'll put little drops
Oh,
when she's working small. She'll put
what?
little drops of paint on it like a palette and works, and you can pull it right by your piece,
Oh
and you're
wow,
just
that's
I
a
mean,
great
I
idea.
know
Yeah.
she goes to town. She's so fast when she does that
Wow. Hmm.
that I'm like, okay, I'm stealing that idea.
And that's with acrylic paint, right?
Yes, with
Okay.
acrylics. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
You even, you put the paint around the edges, and the center is your mixing port.
Yeah, yeah.
Start mixing all
Boy,
those
that is
colors.
mini, isn't it?
It is mini, but boy, is it cool. And you use a small brush and you go for it. If you're doing like little florals and stuff,
Sure.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
I use mine also as a bone folder. When you're
Oh,
folding papers and you
yeah.
need to get that crisp edge, you just grab that card, right down
Nice.
it.
Okay. Yeah.
Bone folder.
That's a good idea.
And then I also use it exclusively with gesso. Like I never put
Mm.
gesso on with a brush. I always use a gift
Mm.
card. And it's the
Okay.
same principle where that friction is drying that gesso much faster.
Okay.
Because we all know that one of the hardest things to do is to gesso something and then wait for it to dry.
Yeah.
Because you're just dying. It's like, okay, I'm dying to jump in now.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I hadn't thought about using it for that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
it's really, you get a nice even coat,
Hmm.
thin coat of gesso. Um, a burnishing tool. So when you're adhering things together
Hmm.
and you need to get those air bubbles out, it's
Yeah.
perfect
Yes.
for
Yes.
pulling across and getting all those air bubbles out.
Yep. That's the main way I use it because it is so, sharp on the edge that you can really work an area. So that's the main way I use it. Yeah.
Are there any other ways that you use a gift card that I'm not thinking of?
Well, I'm thinking, what if you used it for mark making? You could put some, acrylic down. You've got that nice little line,
Yes.
and then you
Mm-hmm.
could do these, different line shapes. You can even, rub it or not rub it, but drag it and get
Mm-hmm.
some marks that way. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get little hatch
Yep.
marks.
Exactly.
Hash
Yeah.
marks, that's the word.
Mhm.
Hash marks across the page. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, and then if you need a straight line, you could use it, hold it up, and use it like a ruler where you can draw a line. If you needed to have just like a straight lined edge, just a short one, you could use it for that.
Yeah, it'd be
Like a
perfect for
light.
journaling blocks,
Yep, yep. If you're
for
doing lettering and you just need like a
mm-hmm.
light line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that was a good idea. Got any more?
Ah,
Those were
I don't
great.
know.
Okay. No pressure.
Okay. I like
Yeah,
it.
those were great additions.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I like this. This was kind of fun. It was challenging to like think of an idea and go, all right, what can we do with this? We'll have to do this again with some other supplies. I like it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
Just really challenging yourself to think in different ways with your supplies and how to use them. So, yeah.
Yeah, multi-purpose is
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, I hope that we hope that you enjoyed this, guys. It was a short one, focusing, on creativity, which is what I hope that we're all able to, in some measure, put into our day each day right now. So, and even if
Definitely.
you're listening to this months down the road, we hope that you'll still benefit from these tips and be able to find new ways to use your own supplies.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Creatives Get Real.
We love hearing from you. So hop on over to Instagram and leave us a comment. And we also appreciate reviews on iTunes.
And you can find me, Sandi Keene, at sandykeene.com and my classes at popupartclasses.com.
And you can find me, Roben-Marie Smith, at robenmarie.com. And if you're looking for and need tech support, check out my membership site, makerstechu.com.